All right, welcome to Doc Magazine, Doc Radio. This is the test. Okay. Welcome to Doc Magazine, Doc Radio. Thank you for tuning in. I have a special guest tonight, Grandmaster Bahiy Muhammad, authentic master from New York City, by way of Florida. This is actually our first. He's from Brooklyn, New York. Throw that out there. Shout out Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Grandmaster is this is actually our first streaming live interview. All our prior interviews has always been done on Blog Talk Radio, but this is our first streaming live interview. This Doc Magazine issue is called The 6 Years. We'll be getting into those 6 years in the middle part of the interview. But in the first part, we're gonna do as much as we can to explore his life. He's a doctor, he's a scholar, a world traveler, 10th degree black belt, celebrity jeweler, celebrity martial artist. Without any further ado, I want us all to take some time to look at this cover. This cover is docmagazine.net, 6 years, as you can see on the screen. Dr. Moses Powell, the greatest martial artist of the 20th century. Dr. Moses Powell was the first African-American to train the CIA, FBI. His legacy is just impeccable. But tonight is about Grandmaster Bahiy. Without any further ado, let me bring in our guest, Grandmaster Bahiy. Grandmaster Us, how are you?
Us, about time, man. Salam alaikum.
Yeah, so how you feel?
Appreciate it.
So how you feeling tonight?
Hey man, I'm feeling pretty good. 2 o'clock in the morning here in Sudan. And it's hot.
Wow.
So that's how I'm doing. The heat is death, you know. Yes.
I heard over there there's some tension heating up between Egypt and Ethiopia over the water dam.
Yeah, over the dam that Ethiopia is building.
Yeah.
Actually, they have finished the dam. Yeah.
Now, is that tension affecting Sudan?
No, not really. They've made an agreement. They signed an agreement. They may be angry. They already signed an agreement. You know, but they figured that Ethiopia is taking water from the Nile River.
Right.
And yeah. But it's enough water in the Nile for everybody, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trust.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to actually go into your life. I'm going to start. Let me see if I want to start. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with this first document here. Okay. So Grandmaster Bahiy Muhammad has been training and studying effective martial arts for the past 50 years. The Grandmaster started his martial arts training in 1967 at the age of 11 years old in his hometown of Quincy, Florida. He was a student of his childhood friend named Raymond Pierce. The style was simple self-defense in nature when he was a junior in high school. Now, tell me about this guy, your childhood friend. You talked a little bit about him, but what was it about this guy that just captivated you? And what was his impact on your martial arts journey?
Okay. Yes, his name was Raymond Pierce, and he started training me in 1967. He's a friend of mine, of course, and he used to, during the summer months, he would travel to his family's home in somewhere around Orlando, Florida. Raymond was the type of guy, man, that he had probably the biggest type of because how I started is how I still basically fight. Raymond was a fighter. Most of all, he had the heart of a lion. I've never seen anybody in that particular age beat up big people and preferred to fight big people like he did. He was a short guy. He was a short guy. He wasn't a tall guy like me. Yeah. Yeah. So he was also bodybuilder. We started training Bruce Lee area was Cato, the Green Hornet. That fascinated. I would come home from work. I would not work. I would school every day. That's the first thing that I would turn on, watch TV and watch the Green Hornet. Raymond was also an artist. Him and I both used to draw and have competition. For me, I learned a lot about drawing. We used to be drawing also. But he was somewhat of a bodybuilder. The guy was a go-getter type of guy. And like I say, the main thing that impressed me about him that he had, heart of a lion, man. He wasn't afraid of it. He wasn't afraid to use self-defense. On a much larger person. That's what impressed me, and that's how I fight. Today.
And what style did he use?
He actually studied the Shotokan, but he did the katas of the Shotokan, but still was a self-defense guy. He leaned more self-defense, anything else. He wasn't a kata show type of guy. Matter of fact, I've seen him really even do any katas from the Shotokan system. He was about self-defense. That's one thing that I appreciate to this day. That when he started training me, he gave me the tools of self-defense.
Now,
of course, I wouldn't kill him because he had that heart. But I always said, hey man, I mean, if things go down any place, I have to have a guy with a heart, but the skill.
And what was it? And what can you tell us a fight? Like, kind of bring us back to an actual fight you saw him, and a big guy. Tell me a big guy, and tell me about a fight where you just knew this big guy probably was going to beat him up because he was a bigger guy, and your friend was. There was a guy that bullied me. Well, he used to bully everybody. And his name was Felt Murray. Felt Murray was the type of guy. Look, he said, "Man, look, give me your sock. You gave it up. So one morning after I was walking to the bus to go to school. I saw a fight going on, and I saw a guy on the, he was on the bottom, but he had the other guy in a chokehold on top of him the other way. The other guy was on his back. And Raymond was on his back. The other guy was on his back as well. Raymond had him in like a reverse choke. I was like, wait a minute, this is Raymond fight. Felt Raymond wasn't afraid to fight. So when he took the bully down. I said, man, please. That was very impressive. I'll never forget that. Because this guy used to bully me. Well, like I said, bully everybody. Okay. He took Felt Murray down, man. So
that was impressive.
So now so that started something. That initiated something for you, and then
because Felt was a guy that even if he lost. At least you know that he would fight. He's not going to fight. He's not going to back down from the fight. Mm-hmm. That's what most people were afraid of. That even if he still gonna fight. No matter what.
So then, so now, So then when you was in junior high, you heard about a martial arts teacher named Johnny Burns. Master Burns learned his martial arts in the Army. He began studying under Master Burns. You began to study under Master Burns, who taught you a combat style of Kung Fu and karate. And there was a true love and respect between yourself and your master, your teacher. And Master Burns would go out of his way to care for his students. And he treated Grandmaster like a brother and always gave him good advice in life. Okay, tell us about the beginning of that story and how did that, that relationship.
Well, actually, opposite. Master Burns heard about me. Now, I wasn't no big time guy. I just heard about our practices and so forth. And this is the first time that I met him. He actually came to my house because he heard about me, and that this day is very appreciated. Master Burns was the type of guy, man, that unlike Raymond had these few techniques that you master. That's why this day go with that. Get a couple of techniques, at a time, master them, and go on. Of course, Master Burns. He had many things about it. He was a self-defense guy also. But he had incorporated mostly kung fu. Because now Master Burns in the kung fu era. 1974. You had this show Kung Fu. So people was exploring the art of kung fu. So Master Burns, he incorporated Kung Fu, karate, whatever it was, he incorporated his system worked. He didn't care where it come from. We'll tell you what I'm teaching you, and it's from this hand, teaching you the hand, how to use your hand, this and doing that. We'll tell you what this Hanggar system. This will come from the northern, something like this. I saw him at a fight in a nightclub just once, but he wasn't that type of guy. He was actually a nice guy. I mean, he tried to keep me from going into the military. Mm-hmm. He was military. I think I don't know what happened to him when he was in Vietnam, but he was displeased with the military. And after high school, I entered the military, and he actually tried to keep me from going into the military. He was how would you call it? He was somewhat of a nationalist, black nationalist, somewhat, against, the military, at that time, because of his political views, and he was one of the Quincy Five. These was 5 black guys who were locked up for trying to blow up the Quincy Courthouse, which was not true, of course. So he became a part of the Quincy Five. And he was very political also, which I wasn't, and I stayed away from that side of him. But like I say, he tried to keep me from going into the military. But his martial arts, again, just like Raymond had a certain thing about himself that was appreciative. And Johnny Burns, on the other hand, he was a real nice guy. Mm-hmm. He treated me like a little brother. Mm-hmm. As well as him being my teacher. And being in the South, there was actually, in my hometown, I didn't find any martial arts schools, like commercial schools. So that was good. That was good for me.
What year?
My martial arts, huh?
What year is this now? What year are we talking now?
We're talking about around 1972 to 74. 73 to 72 to 74.
Okay. And okay, so now now the dojo. Kind of give us a picture. What did that dojo look like? What was the conditioning and training like in that dojo?
My dojo? I didn't have a dojo.
No. The dojo of Master Burns.
Oh yeah. It was outside. He owned property. So you gotta understand. This is the South now. So his dojo was basically on the side of his house. You know, it wasn't like a commercial dojo. It was like my grandmaster we say that he's a backyard dojo master. So Master Burns was a backyard dojo type person. He was commercial dojo. He was a backyard master.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So how many?
So when I went into the
go ahead, sir. I'm listening. When you went into the military?
Yes, sir. When I went against his word, and I went into the military, and I went into the military. I think my oldest brother, career mate, 25 years in the military before he got out. And I had already 4 years ROTC. And that I didn't want to waste because I was an artist. Used to draw. My mother promised college for that. I was also had a baseball scholarship. Tuskegee Institute, but because of through my right arm as a catcher, you know, I let that, and at that time black catchers. Holler any black catchers in Major League Baseball. You know, with injuries we had, we just had to to keep them. You know, because there's no one to help. But so I went into the military now. In the military, I searched out someone who they impressed me with their kicks basically. His name was they called him CJ Flower. Used to train with Bill Wallace. He has a real. I like the way he stretched. I like the way his kicks was. You know, some good kicks. He has some good stretching. And before that, really got into stretching. I didn't know. I didn't stretch him. Raymond and Johnny Burns. You know, now I'm in basically a commercial military. Now stretching, getting involved in that man, and different aspects of the martial arts. Even though karate, it was nothing like what Raymond taught me. Only the self-defense portion. You know, he didn't give me the collars or anything like that. Also in the military, you kind of a few styles. One of them was Hapkido. I had a friend knowing you in the military, you're gonna find people with all type of styles and so forth. So the Hapkido style was impressive because all I saw was self-defense. You know, in the Hapkido. So I didn't go away from Shotokan, but I did dip into the Hapkido style. And you know, after this, you understand, being with Flower for a few years, man, I was able to obtain.
Okay, so what happens now is, so 1980, after you did a tour in the United States Army, Grandmaster Bahiy returns, relocated to Tallahassee. This is where you found Master Leon Fletcher and the Shinji Matsu Karate Do Association. In Tallahassee,
yes, sir.
In Tallahassee, you trained under Shinji Matsu, Master Leon Fletcher, Ted Parker, and Steve Stokes at Dojo Walker Fort Recreation Center. Okay, tell us about that.
Yes. Well, again, it is a teacher who heard about me and came to my house. But I had heard about the Shinjimasu karate students winning championships in Florida. So I went to walk. Before I went to walk, actually came to a friend of my imam, Tallahassee. My imam was Abdul Ali. Ahmed Abdul Ali. He used to be a basketball player at Florida State. Former name was Skip. And he was into the northern style of Hunga. He also was karate with this group. And he had told me about the Shinjimasu karate. Shinjimasu means trust and believe. And that's one thing that led me to the, you understand. But when I really visited the dojo at Walker Ford Community Center, I was hooked. It is these guys wearing every student wearing black gi, black uniform, and it's a fighting. That's what attract my attention is that these guys are fighters. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? That's all they did. I mean, they came over to Shinjimasu, but some of them ended up back to their own dojo because these guys are fighters. And I was kind of like Idris when he saw the Black Panther wearing all black, that attracted him to them. So for me, these guys were all black and they're fighters. They kicking ass wholesale, throughout Florida. And I wanted to be a part of it. This guy, Leon Fletcher, he told me about his grandmaster, which is Charles Dixon, who was my teacher today. Grandmaster Shushin Fletcher. And Ted Parker. At that time, they had some discipline school. I can imagine if the school wasn't split up. I had seen that. School was big when I went in there. So if they were together at that time, definitely been which they did come back because Sensei Stokes was the light champion of Florida. And we had rivals in Florida, which was the Nisei Roots, headed by Herbert Thompson down south.
Yeah, I heard so much about him and his school. Yeah.
Herbert Thompson.
Nisi, Herbert Thompson and the Nisi Gocha. I heard a lot about them.
Scott, he was vicious, man. He was vicious, and his students. He told his students to have no mercy, man. But we were their rival, and both groups wore black uniforms, And even the people, you understand, in Florida was kind of impressed with the two groups. Sometimes we hated each other. Sometimes we came into the tournament, blood in the eyes, and understand, so forth. But all in all, we learned from each other, and at the end, learned to love each other. Herbert was a guy. You spent a lot of time in the military. He's a Vietnam vet. So no question about it. Someone to be kind of careful about how you approach it. Many people thought he was crazy.
Yeah, my dad
still do.
Yeah, my dad.
I think he was crazy, but right now you understand. I love him, brother, man. He's done a lot of wonderful things about martial arts.
Yeah, my dad was.
The other instructor, Ted Parker, he was first judo competitor, pretty good at Tallahassee, in competition, judo competition. But Steve Stokes, I mean, that was the man, and that's what the guy that I basically emulated. And he had these wonderful kicks and everything that he did up to top level.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he's a judge in North Carolina, Judge Stokes. But when I met Grandmaster Dixon, that was more. I was more impressed with him. Even though you understand, he put this thing together. He was very humble man.
What was his character like?
Because
what was Grandmaster Dixon's character? How would you describe his character, Grandmaster Dixon?
When I met him, first of all, he's very humble, but he had this cheek. He knew how to spread his cheek, and I didn't know very much about cheeks. He had cheeks really built up, heavily, and I saw now why everybody was fighters, because that's what this man, he lived fight. I mean, he started fight. I'm not talking about a real fight. Sometimes he picks people that start fight. You know what I'm saying? What I said, start fight those in the organization. His students so far. Every day was training day for fighting. His day fighting. That's why when I saw the students for the first time, I was impressed that they were fighting when I came in. They were fighting when I came in, fighting when I left out. You know what I'm saying? And it was so impressive to me that actually I didn't leave out until everybody else left out. You know what I'm saying? They fought to the end. And of course, I became one of those fighters, man.
And what kind of and the fighter? What was your reputation as a fighter? Like what? How did people come to know Bahiy? Like what did they say about your fighting style?
Happened in time that further on and came about on the street. I used to work with the sanitation division at one time, and of course I went and picked up, a can up, and a guy's dog ran, big German Shepherd ran out of the house, toward me, and I just hit him with a reverse punch, knocked him out. So the guy came out of the house. Yeah. Came out of my dog. By the way, the guy was arguing. He was having an argument with his girlfriend, and that's how the dog ran out. He opened the door, and so the guy he jumped in his car. So I kept walking. I'm in front of this man's house. I just knocked this dog out. Look, man, let me walk. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how it is in the South, man. You get shot, you get killed from somebody's house, and nothing's gonna happen about it. So this man, let me take a walk. So as I took a walk, here it is. This guy come. I see this guy coming with his car. Cause a little kid that lives in front of him, you came up to me and said, but you better watch yourself. Everybody in the neighborhood, hates this guy. So by the time he said that, the guy was in his car. He said, "Oh, he's coming." The guy jumped on his back and he left. And the guy got out of his car like he had a shotgun or something. And so I was getting to jump the fence. But as soon as I saw it was a baseball bat, oh man, it was on. That was my, one moment, I think I'm going to be killed by a shotgun, and the next moment, I'm absolutely happy to know that I'm not. So when I saw the baseball, I went to him, took the baseball bat, and I beat him with the baseball bat. So when the police came, they found out what happened. He started laughing. Wait a minute. He said, "Wait a minute." He had this guy. He came up street, to beat me with the baseball bat. I beat him with his own bat. That made the newspaper, and of course, it made the evening news. One sanitation worker can, do a bang of a job if he need be.
Wow, man, that's So let me ask you, what made you not have the fear? First of all, what made you not run? What made you just sit there and just stand your ground and knock a German Shepherd out?
Well, first of all, I never was afraid of dogs. That's one thing. And the second thing is I always practice my reverse punch. I even practice my reverse punch from the kneeling position. So when the dog came, running after me, that's basically what I did. I basically, went down to the kneeling position, to his level, and knocked him out. Now, as far as the guy is concerned, like I say, one moment I think I made him killed because I thought the way he got out of his car, he got out with a baseball bat, but I didn't see the bat at first. I thought maybe he had a shotgun. So I was happy when I did a shotgun. I was absolutely it's like I had life. It's like I had life, giving new life again. So and the way we fought the Tallahassee, man, it was still living. Look, man, I'm coming to you. You came this far. You gotta use that back, man. So when he saw me coming, he started to apologize. Hey man, you already here now. This because he thought I was afraid which I was. But when I thought it was a shotgun. Well, once I saw the bat, man, come on. This is a new day here now. So I went to standing from second. But by the time I got to him, realized that he messed with personal, and he started apologizing. It's too late for me. It was too late, man. So I took the bat, beat him upside the head. When he blocked the head, I beat him in the legs. Went for the legs. I beat him back in the head again. So that's why they said sanitation work through a bang up job.
So Grandmaster Muhammad is internationally accomplished Grandmaster with students in schools around the world, in such countries as Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Ethiopia, Kenya, Grenada, Egypt, Chad, Nigeria, and Pakistan. Now, hold up, Grandmaster, hold up. How in the world did Bahiy from Quincy, Florida, end up with students all around the world?
Well, in those places, haven't been those places like but now probably like maybe 300 students here. And that I also have reached the rate of mastering Grandmaster since 1986. I came here in 1986 and I took over self-defense. But I studied at a place called the African Islamic Center, which turned into the International African Islamic University. So I studied Arabic language and Islamic studies with people from all over Africa. So when I started training there at the International African Islamic University, there was people from all over Africa, and of course many of them became my students. And so when they went back to when they left and went back to their countries, they started schools. They started schools, or either that they started programs. But it all started right here in Sudan.
Okay,
before Sudan, I was in Pakistan.
Okay, Grandmaster. Okay, so let me ask you this: you go to Pakistan because more or less for a spiritual journey. It was a pilgrimage, more or less. Okay, yes. So tell us about this. Tell us about your journey. Tell us about You know, how is it going to Pakistan as an African American, as a black man in Pakistan, seeking to learn the Deen? What was that experience like? When you first got there, what did it feel like? And what was the stages of development from beginning to advance when that you can describe to us when you started off from beginner and then you got to the point where you was like, I got this. I understand this.
Yeah. Well, when I made up my mind in Tallahassee to go, I wanted to become a Hafiz Quran. I wanted to memorize the whole Quran by heart. I learned basically I had 30, basically on my own. Well, I had teachers, of course, you understand, but I had already, I learned at my own pace. And after that, I began to learn the next portion. So I learned those two portions of before going to Pakistan. And it was just something in my heart saying that this is what I want to do. People thought I was crazy, of course. Look, I had a real job. Worked for the city.
And
in Tallahassee.
And you said sanitation, so they was paying good. You had overtime, you had benefits, you had the pension, you had all that.
Oh yeah. That's why people say, something has hit him. This man is bumping his head somewhere. Maybe he got hit by a car. Something happened to this guy. Man, many of the Muslims, in Tallahassee, they understood it. But most of my non-Muslim friends, they couldn't understand that. Wait a minute. You gave all of this. You said you were going to Pakistan to memorize. That's all. You're not getting no money. You just memorize Quran. That's it. They couldn't understand my dream. They don't understand that when one door opens for you, it may be the door that you need, and it may not be another.
Okay, Grandmaster. Grandmaster, hold up. Let me back it up a bit. Let me back it up. So you in Florida, and just from talking to you, I know you was a hard worker, so I know you put in that overtime. I know when it was overtime, you worked overtime. And I know you had them big checks. You probably had a nice spot. You had everything. Now, what made you walk away from a middle class life? You're a grandmaster. I mean, I know you had a good life. I know you had a good life. First of all, you was living in Florida. Listen. First time I went to Florida, and Florida is in terms of just the landscape, how it looks, the weather, number one state in America, hands down. It's the number. Listen, Naples, Florida is the richest zip code in America. Florida is where all the wealthy, all the middle class, everybody eventually goes to Florida. Even me, like I left New York, I moved to Atlanta, but when it's all said and done, inshallah, I plan on moving to Pensacola, Florida. I love Pensacola. Florida, yes. Florida so listen, you lived in the most beautiful state in America. You had a middle class life, you had money, you had a good career, you had friends.
Yes.
What made you what was the day and what sparked it that said, hey, I'm turning in my resignation. I'm gonna tell my mortgage or wherever I'm at, okay, this is it, this is my final payment, I'm gone. Take me there. Start at that point.
Like I say, amen. It's hard for people to understand that I did it. Understand, but it was something inside of me say, look, I love this religion like this. This is the way I love it. This is what my sacrifice for this religion. Not to say I sacrifice for anybody. I did that for myself. I really wanted to be a Hafiz Quran. I really wanted to learn the whole Quran, by heart. Because by me learning certain parts of the Quran, I obtained the sweetness of the Quran. It has a sweetness that you can't describe, to many people who abandon, learning books, especially with the Arabic language. And you can't become unless you learn, you only can become Hafiz learning the Arabic language. The day that I decided to give it up, I remember meeting a friend of mine by the name of Muhammad, and I told him about my intentions. I actually wanted to go to Saudi Arabia at that time. But he told me that there was a guy, matter of fact, in Pensacola, Florida. His name was Muhammad Yunus. Said that Muhammad Yunus is Pakistani. He have access to a Quran school in Gujranwala, Pakistan. The sheikh who was the head sheikh that school, Quran school. He used to come to Pensacola. Now it's not Panama City. He used to come to Panama City every year in the Salat al-Tarawih. So it was actually around this time that he came, and I went to see him, and seeing a person who actually just impressed me. And I didn't even think about all the stuff that I was giving up. Other people saw it. My burning desire to learn the Arabic language, and most of all to learn the full Quran by heart. There's nothing I can say that people may understand about it. Many Muslims will understand that dream. But most non-Muslims don't understand that. Especially you give up something. Like I gave up a career. I gave up my home. I sold my beautiful car. That took me everywhere. I left my family, as a matter of fact. So people thought I bumped my head somewhere. They don't know where I bumped it, but I bumped it somewhere. Because my dream was nothing what they would see a normal person, do. But for me, I was making accomplishments. Now, when I got to Pakistan, I stayed in Pakistan about 8 months. I didn't stay for 8 years. But I ended up going to Sudan. Well, I ended up coming to Sudan. That's where I am right now. And so that door of Pakistan was actually, for the door of Sudan. Where I here since 1986, I had my connections in the rest of the African world, and on top of that, I came back in from 1986 all the way to the end 1988. So I went to Brooklyn for a year. 1990 I came back here and married a beautiful woman by the name of Hassan Abdul Hadi. And we have two big daughters. One is actually in the States now. And my baby daughter, she just got married like maybe 10 months ago. Yeah. So
all right. So let me. Okay. So you leave.
And plus, when it comes to martial arts, I brought something here that most people had seen before.
Right. So I'm getting ready to get into that now. So now, you leave Pakistan, okay, which is basically, let's just say East Asia. And then you go from Pakistan to Sudan, which is East Africa, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So
North Africa.
Okay. Northeast, yeah. So now you're in Africa. Okay. So Africa is known for having the warriors and known for having the natural fighters and things like that. Now when you came to Sudan and you come in as a black man from the West, and then you see the black men in the East, what was the difference between your fighting style and their fighting style?
The fighting style here, let's take an example from Shotokan Karate. The biggest style that is practiced here in Sudan is Shotokan. I mean, you have Taekwondo, you have Judo, but the biggest style that's practiced is Shotokan. But they don't practice the Shotokan the correct way. Why? Because they left out the self-defense part. They don't do weapons. Also, they do a few katas, and that's basically it. So when I came, I showed you, the correct way of even punching, kicking. People would have light belts. They would, they would hold their breath when they punch, when they kick. So this was, something that I had taekwondo also. Is showing the strategy of you can't hold your breath when you strike. When you kick, you got to continue to breathe. They just up when before they strike. This is another thing. So what was missing, still is missing in their martial arts, is the self-defense. When I came, I remember I came to the youth center of Khartoum Bahri, that is. And the first day, I throw out knives, all this kind of stuff to show them that self-defense is a real issue. That you gotta defend from the states. Yeah. You gotta defend yourself against these type of weapons. So when I threw these knives and stuff out, you might look at me like, man, this is crazy. You never did this. And matter of fact, sensei of the schools, man, we never practice this. And when I began to show them self-defense weapons, the hand self-defense, they loved it. They never had it before. So people all over Sudan heard about me eventually within like 6 months. People started coming, and I started teaching them, and then I had an area at the university. I was training at the university at the youth center Khartoum Bahri. And the judo I saw was authentic. Judo I saw at that time was authentic. Taekwondo that I saw was a little weak because most of the Taekwondo teachers here don't know how to use their hands. And I'm consistent. Jiu-Jitsu was developed in 1963. This particular art, is a mixture of karate, Muay Thai, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, due to the fact that my teacher also trained under Yamaguchi Cat, Japan. So but now, let me say this. Sudan has another area. They have the Nubian fighters, and it's something different. The Nubian fighters, they're mostly wrestlers, and it's almost impossible to beat these guys wrestling. Every Friday there's matches, competition, in Umdurman with the Nubian wrestlers. Yep.
Now
they go way back. These wrestlers go way back.
Yeah, like 3,000-4,000, like 5,000s of years.
Yes.
How would you say those Nubian wrestlers would do against, let's say, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I don't know, but I tell you what, they would definitely give a run for the money. Because these are warriors, Nubian guys, warriors. They're not afraid. They ran the British out of their country. So that should tell you.
Wow. All right. So now you formulate your school. You're essentially an Islamic scholar. You're also
I learned, but I'm not a scholar.
Okay, but you accomplished your goal in terms of Islam. Okay.
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
Some of them I accomplished.
Okay. So now you establish your school. Now, when you establish your school, how big is your representation in Sudan?
Very big, very big. As a matter of fact, almost every day, people from other schools that I'm talking about, I have students that have come from Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. They have come from the Ihtihad al-Karate, which is, the Karate Federation, Ihtihad al-Taekwondo. They come from all these federations that before, it was afraid to leave.
Yeah.
Because they would be, what do they call it? They would be looked down on instead by the federation itself. In other words, many people think that people should have, should think for themselves. They don't have many people in the federation that know self-defense. So I tell people, if an organization should have what you teacher doesn't have what you need, man, you gotta go someplace where a teacher does have what you need. Because that's what I did. Even now, with my Grandmaster Dixon, he never stopped me going, to learn any place, because he had no teacher that ever tell me that. No, why you belong to this organization? You can't go over here. You can't go over there. No. If I need something like in the 90s, I started living with a lot of weapons. Especially labor weapons. I did that. I would say secretly, but that was one of my passions. That in the 90s,
what style in the weapons did you study?
Well, I started, like Tonto, the samurai. This was the early 90s that there was samurai and Tonto. These type of weapons, blade weapons. I was in blade weapons. I was learning how to use them. Wow. But again, go back to the question that you asked me about my popularity here. Very, very popular. I'm very, very popular here, and that's one reason that I'm not leaving. I'm coming back to the States. Shout out to Powell, retirement, all this, but this is home. I'm coming back. And even when I was beginning to study with Docmagazine, there was 1972, 74, 1992 to somewhere around 1990. I would say 99 or something like this. And I was spending time in the States. I was spending maybe half that time here. Because I have so many students here, man. I just can't abandon them. I'm basically like the father now.
Well, Grandmaster, before we go into intermission, because we're coming down to the end of this first half, after intermission, we're going to go into, when we come back, we're going to go into the 6 years, so we get into Dr. Moses Powell. But before that, I'm going to let the audience see all of the PDFs you sent me, so they can see some of your pictures. So I'm going to I'm going to transition now to that. All right.
Much appreciate it.
Give me one moment. Okay, so audience, you can see this is a picture. This is a younger picture of Grandmaster Bahiy Muhammad when he was younger. This is a picture of him holding the eagle. I guess this is some honor. He must have been given an honor here. This is a picture of him doing a finger lock. This is him doing a disarmament. This is a picture of him with 6th-degree black belt in 1991. This is a picture of Grandmaster with some other karate people. This is a picture of Grandmaster again in his white gi, Bahiy Muhammad, Grandmaster, Symbol Ambassador. Let's see this picture here. Let's see if we can rotate this. Yeah, we can rotate it. Let's see here. Okay, this is Grandmaster again. Now, in this picture I was showing of Grandmaster, it looks like there's some police around you. Okay. This is Grandmaster again. All right, Grandmaster. Hey, Grandmaster, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can barely hear you, but I hear you.
Okay. All right. Now, Grandmaster, there's a picture of you with the police, the New York City police.
Yes, sir.
All right. What is your relationship with them? Have you ever trained them before?
Now, this picture with the police is actually on a movie. What movie was that? I think that was with Angela Jolie.
Okay.
I think it was Angela. I forget exactly. But yeah. So I was working on that particular movie, and I just said, "Hey man, these guys look wonderful, man. I work with them, so I said, look, man, let me take a picture with you, and just took a picture.
Now,
I mean, I can easily say, if I was untruthful, say, yeah, I'm training, police and stuff like that. No, that was from a movie, and these guys really looked the part too,
Mm-hmm. So, now let me just say this. Okay, so now. You also did personal protection. So these are some of the entertainers you work for. You work for Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Patrick Swayze, Chris Tucker, John Terrell, Woody Harrelson, Whoopi Goldberg. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Clayton Prince, Bette Midler, Gail O'Grady, Courtney Love, Dennis Quaid, Johnny Depp, Hugh Grant, Sandra Bullock, and Bill Bellamy, Regina King,
yes.
Jackie, Lynn Whitfield, Tamala Jones, Shamar Moore. Man, these are a lot of famous people.
No.
And you also work for Will Smith.
Yes.
Wow. What
Men in Black.
Wow. So you did security for Will Smith.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Woo. Chris Rock, man. Okay. You also work for Mike Tyson. What did you do for Mike Tyson?
When he came out, I worked for him during the Buster Matthews fight.
Wow.
That was in Pennsylvania, I think.
Man.
Just for that fight, though.
So you
worked
work
for Buster Matthews.
You work for Billy Paul.
First of all, I knew Mike from Brooklyn. Before he became Muslim, you know what I'm saying? Met him like maybe 3 times, in Brooklyn.
You work for Billy Paul, Freddie Fox. You work for my favorite rap group, Wu-Tang. That's my favorite, number one. What was it like working for Wu-Tang?
Working for those guys, first of all, they're probably some of the best, the best rappers besides 8 Ball and MJG. 8 Ball and MJG probably, they were the best rappers that I worked for. They were very humble. They had everybody call me, Mr. Muhammad and their, entourage and everything like that. But Wu-Tang, man, only, a couple of times that I actually worked for them, so I didn't know them, like that. But 8 Ball, MJG, you understand? And yeah, I'll be honest with you, I never liked working for rappers. They cause too much trouble.
They really make you work for your money, the rappers.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Oh, wait a minute. You work for Black Rob. What was that like?
Oh, man. Speaking of trouble.
Yeah.
Top of the trouble right there.
Man.
Yep. He and, what's this guy name? They kicked him out of the country, had to go to Belize. Shine. Yeah, man. Those two guys, man, man, they gave me high blood pressure. Pressure raw, but let me say this. You had a picture talking about, the police and everything like that. But 1999 and 2000, I was in Kuwait. And in Kuwait, I was trained in the Kuwait National Guard in self-defense. And they made that position for me. There was no such thing as a trainer of the National Guard in Kuwait. But, I had some friends who had, a little connection. And, just a little bit before that, they felt that America, saved their country. And they figured that, in America, that comes over and asks for a job or, need a job, it was their duty to give it to them. So they was very, that they made,
Are they still generous?
They made this job.
Are they still generous like that now?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, so now, but then check it out. So now you also did security for Batman. Wow, Die Hard, 2 Wong Fu. Man, you Dead Presidents, Money Train, Bogus, Sleepers. Man, you big time. You a big time martial artist. You big time. Sleepers.
Hey man,
Men in Black.
Don't make me stick my chest out, man. I'm trying to be humble.
Hey man, this is your interview. This is your Docmagazine. This is what we about. This is the time we are. What's the word? We're giving you your roses now.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely appreciate it, man.
One Night Stand, dance movie, Coyote Man. I mean, this is very impressive. Television shows, NYPD Blue, New York. So you appeared on New York Undercover?
Yes, twice.
Wow. McDonald's, man.
Yeah.
Man.
That's what Clay Prince. That's what Master Clay Prince did, the McDonald commercial.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Clay Prince in Pennsylvania. I think he's Philly. I think he's from Philly.
All right, so you graduated.
With Say a lot.
So you graduated from high school, 74. You went to Kansas University. You majored in African American history. Now, when you majored in African American history, did Grandmaster Dixon have an influence on that since he was a nationalist?
No, you mean Grandmaster Johnny Burns?
Yeah, Grandmaster Johnny Burns.
No. After I went into the military, I just started studying certain things. I got a hold to a book. By that time, I already read the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Right.
And that changed, actually changed everything because it pushed me to read other books.
Right.
And then I became, 1975, I became Muslim.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this one thing here. You have I Fear No Man. I'm not on it, but I've seen it. Can you tell us about I Fear No Man? What's that about? I Fear No Man Inc. That's one of your companies.
Yeah. Well, the title actually I got from MMA fighter at the time. I'm trying to think of his name though. I forget his name. He's no longer in the cage MMA, but he had a title saying "Fear No One." So I took that and changed it to "Fear No Man," and nobody had that title at the time, and all of a sudden, you understand, and this is 1996, 1998, like that. So now you can find Fear No Man almost everywhere because I didn't patent it, I didn't, and that's what people knew me for in many places, you understand, Fear No Man Incorporated. But of course, because that's the way I feel that no man should fear another man. And everybody has fear. See what I'm saying? I remember way back day, before I became Muslim, in my house used to watch Gunsmoke. I don't know what that is.
I've heard about it. It's like, yeah, I
guns. Yeah. It was the West, you understand? And if I was watching Night Nightfall, I had to watch Gunsmoke too. Well, one day the Marshall was going to have a shootout with one of the best gunslingers in the West. And he didn't appear very nervous. So one of the guys ran up and said, Marshall, you're not afraid? And the Marshal said, a man is not afraid of food. Even though I was a young man at that time, I still never forgot that statement. A man is never afraid is a fool. And I read a book because I used to read a lot of motivation books. I read this book called the title of it is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So that kind of helped me establish Fear No Man. And these are some things that I talk about, like seminars and stuff like that, around places, around the world. And by the way, many of my students are in Saudi Arabia also. Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, some in Yemen, Egypt, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Chad, Kenya, Nigeria, as a matter of fact, Niger. And there's a lot of countries, definitely South Sudan at this time.
Wow. Well, Grandmaster, I'm getting ready to go into intermission, and then I'll bring you back in a couple of minutes.
Okay. Shalom.
All right, to all you Docmagazine fans and audience, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to my guest, Grandmaster Bahiy Muhammad. Man, that was a very powerful interview, and we learned a lot about his life. And we're thankful for him showing us. We're thankful for him showing us how he left the material world to strengthen and to follow his taqwa.